today's video is going to be a little bit different. I thought it would be fun to sit down and do something like a yearly catch-up, kind of like a fun annual review of what happened in 2025. I thought we could look at what worked, what didn't, and some ideas I've got moving forward. And the idea is just that it's a relaxed conversation. I've got my cup of tea, so maybe you'd like to make one too. And let's just chat about my YouTube channel, what you liked and what you didn't. So first up, you'll notice I usually have a really pretty pink teacup with gold like filigree decorations on it. It's my favorite teacup. It's Royal Albert. And my new family member, Rocky, he broke it. So I'm really sad that I'm using this teacup. It is really beautiful, but that was my favorite one. I've got it on my wish list for my birthday so that I can get a new one. So you might recall seeing Rocky popping up in a few of the videos last year. He is our new family member. And what happened was my son was playing with him, that it got really rough and my dog was running around the living room. I was going to call it a lounge, but you call it a living room. And he ran through the coffee table, through it. The coffee table went flying. It was glass, so that smashed as well as my best cup. So that's the story about the missing teacup and why I'm using a different one in this video. Anyway, let's move on to what videos I did in 2025. Now, I've written them all down and worked it all out. I did 14 small project tutorials, and you guys really love them. The funny thing is I don't actually get that many views generally on them, and they're what we call an evergreen video. So I might post it and then I'm like, oh, so disappointed it only got a few thousand views. But then generally what happens over time is those views just trickle on and trickle on and trickle on. So they're not videos that I know, wow, I'm going to get 50,000 views in the first 24 hours. In fact, I don't think I ever have had a video that has done that well, but I just do them personally for myself because I'm always looking for small projects. I love making small projects. I personally love making something quick and easy and fast, and I also love gifting things. So whenever I go to an industry event like Quilt Market, I handpick 3 or 4 people that I know that I would like to thank, and I always make them a handmade gift, and it's always one of my tutorials. So selfishly, those videos are actually for me too, because I use them to make gifts myself. So the funny thing is when I'm making a tutorial, and some people are surprised to hear this, but I'll come up with what I want to make. Let's say it's a good one is my Christmas ornament stocking. Now, I knew I wanted to make that. I haven't made that before. So I'll start off just randomly working out what would be the rough size of the stocking, and then I make a sample. Then I adjust it. I work out what do I think is the best way of making this, and I'll make it a few different times and play and work out for me, how do I think is the best way to make it. And then I hope you agree that my tutorial is really easy to follow, and I have made it a really nice, easy way for you to follow. But what people don't realize is actually that Christmas ornament stocking was a pain in my bum. I truly made 10 samples until I was happy. And I don't think people don't get to see that side of it. So when I first made it, the shape was just completely wrong because I just took my big stocking template and tried shrinking it, and the shape was horrible. It was like really skinny and really long, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks absolutely horrible. And I wish I kept the samples to show you. I actually just throw them away because I just end up with so much stuff. I do have a sort of tendency to be a bit of a hoarder, so I do have to just throw stuff away. So anyway, it was too long or horrible, so then I made more, and then I wanted it to fit a gift card in there nicely, and then I wanted the toe to sit nicely. So I made 10 samples until I was happy with that ornament. And then I go on and make the video. So by the time you see the video, often I've spent 2 to 3 days working out what the tutorial will be, exactly how to make it, exactly the right measurements, then I record. So that's kind of a bit of a behind the scenes of how I actually work. And I tend to like to make the samples, like I said, and now I'm rambling, to work out what I think is the best way to make something. So for example, my boxy zipper pouch, I was really confused on the corners. And that's another example of when I must have made at least 5 samples. And then when I finally worked out, like, I'm not going and checking other people's YouTube videos on how they make them. I kind of understand fundamentally how it would be made, and then I just work it out slowly, what is logical to me. And that's when I came up with the idea of sewing the outer and the lining together to do those boxy corners. Now, it is a little bit fiddly, but what it means is we actually save time and we actually make, I think, a much nicer finish on that boxer zippy pouch, because then the lining is actually sewn in and down and it's kind of not pulling around a bit. Does that make sense? Anyway, I just thought it would be fun for you to know kind of what the process does look like behind the scenes. And one of my goals this year is really to get better at that and show you what goes on behind the scenes, what is my process, what my studio looks like. And speaking of studios, that's another funny thing. Last year, well, actually, I've done it twice now. I've done a tour of my studio. So let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do that again. But what people always find amazing, and I think it's kind of a bit of a flex, is I'm not in a fancy sewing studio. I'm actually in my bedroom. Now, right now, you would not believe what I'm looking at. I'm looking firstly at my husband standing behind the camera. I've got a big pile of fabric here to my left that you can't see. We've conveniently cropped it out. I've got a pile of socks that I have no idea where they even came from, that I have to go and rehome back where they belong in, like, my son's sock drawer. I've got the Christmas tree on my bed because it was here and I didn't want it in the video because it's not Christmas anymore. I've got boxes because I was trying to clear out my studio, because I call it a studio, it's really my bedroom. Because Neil says I really should probably have a working desk, because this desk is the only desk I've got. And as you can imagine, I'm making samples, I'm just doing all sorts of things. It's just too chaotic. When I need to be writing patterns, writing emails, doing Facebook posts and what have you, I need to be sitting at a desk. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, you would not believe the chaos behind this camera. So it's kind of smoke and mirrors, right? But I think the fun thing is, and the thing to remember is, not everyone has that beautiful studio to make in, and YouTubers to record in. And so if you're just sewing in your living room or your bedroom, that's just really normal. So I think it's kind of funny and a bit of a flex that actually I don't have this beautiful sewing studio. I'm just in a corner in my bedroom and it's just chaotic. So if you can hear kind of a weird sound, or maybe a munching sound, that is Rocky. He's right under my feet. He's like a Velcro dog. And so I'm really sorry about that, but we just want to record and get this video done. Now, something I did last year was my block of the month. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, the block of the month gives me absolutely the worst views on my whole YouTube channel. I believe the last block that I did, admittedly it was a real simple one, it only got about 1,500 views. And for someone that has 125,000 YouTube subscribers, that's really bad. The thing is I love block of the month. For me, it gives me structure for my year. It's also become a tradition. This year we'll be doing it again, and it will be our 5th year. And I know the members in my quilt club really love it. I do just tend to stick to a traditional sampler where we've just got the 12 blocks, and I think people are like, oh, that's a bit boring. But this year for my members, we're doing something really fun, and we're doing what we call pick a mix. And that's where I've done a new layout where some of the blocks will be 6 inches, some of the blocks will be 12 inches. We'll have a few fillers, and then as the year goes on, they can do what I'm calling pick and mix and decide which block they want to make small or big to pop in there. Now, pick and mix came to me naturally. I thought that was a really fun name to call it. And why I decided on pick and mix is, in New Zealand, if you go to the supermarket, almost all supermarkets, or at least the one that I used to go frequently, as you walk in, you go past the fruit and veggies, just like every supermarket, and then you come to an area that's called Pick and Mix. Now, in there is things like peanuts and what have you, and you can buy it in bulk, but there's also lollies, or you probably call it candy, and they have all the candies just in big containers, and you get scoops, and you pick the candies you want and you pop them in a bag and you're mixing them. So that's where the name Pick and Mix comes from, and I thought that was really cute. I thought that's exactly what we'll be doing this year with Block of the Month. We'll be picking and mixing the blocks to make our Block of the Month. But another reason why I didn't want to stop doing it, and I don't know if I've already said this, but it feels like a tradition. I do love traditions, and I feel like I think I would like to continue doing the Block of the Month on and on and on. And I think there's something really nice about having just a really small project that you can chip away at every month, and then at the end we're going to have this beautiful quilt top. And for me personally, I feel like I do sway towards more traditional things. Don't get me wrong, I love modern fun fabric, but I definitely think I'm more of a traditional quilter in that sense, where I do really enjoy those traditional simple blocks. So that's why we're going to keep the Block of the Month again this year, even though they're my worst performing videos. You might be wondering, oh my gosh, why does this girl keep doing these? Well, now I've given you my reason why. I guess it's because I love them and I love the tradition around them. One of the biggest highlights this year was definitely getting my silver play button, and you can see that behind me. Thank you all so much. If it wasn't for you, I would not have a silver play button. So that was definitely a highlight for the YouTube channel. So for those of you that don't know, a silver play button is when you've hit 100,000 subscribers. So thank you so much to each and every one of you that has taken the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It generally means the world to me. And now I always do a plug. If you do watch me, please hit the subscribe button. But if you have another favorite YouTuber and you haven't subscribed to their YouTube channel, please do me a favor and subscribe to them too. Trust me, they're watching that number. It is so important to us because we are all trying to get that silver play button. So that's my little plug to please go and subscribe to other people too. Another highlight for last year was I did do my first quilting retreat with my friend Becky of Patchwork Posse, and the venue was at Stitch in Heaven, Quitman, Texas. We booked it in and we were so excited. It actually holds 24 people. It could even hold more than that, but the goal was to have 24 people. To be honest with you, we actually only got 12 bookings, and we were really nervous, and we were like, you know what, we're just going to go ahead with this. That's still people that we want to follow through. They've signed up, they've booked flights, let's just do this. And I can tell you now, we had an absolute ball. That was probably up there with my silver play button for last year as a highlight. And I'm excited to say that for this year, we're doing it again, and it is sold out. So I'm not trying to sell you a quilting retreat. I just wanted to tell you that I do offer them, and they are a real highlight. So if you've been thinking about doing a quilting retreat, and you're sitting on the fence and you're not sure if you should do one, I say absolutely yes, just do it. Now, one of the ladies coined the phrase that it was just like a summer camp for adults, and I have to agree. Trust me, you're just going to have so much fun. And even if you don't know anyone, you just found one that you think sounds interesting and you'd like to go, I think, just feel the fear and do it anyway. I know it can be a bit scary going to a quilting retreat if you don't know anyone, but trust me, there are other people that are going to be there in exactly the same boat, and everyone is there just to have fun. So if a quilting retreat is on your list of things to do this year, make sure you make that happen, because trust me, you won't regret it. So speaking of quilting retreats, I was also lucky enough to be invited to my friend Di's retreat. Oh, and here's Rocky. He's so cheeky. Rocky, do you want to come and say hello? Come on here. Say hello. This is Rocky, everyone. Oh my gosh. He's a troublemaker, but isn't he cute? Hey, darling. Okay, no licking faces. It's a bit rude on camera. Okay, you have to go down now. Okay. Sorry. So another highlight was my friend Di of Sister Chicks Quilting invited me to her retreat, and boy was that a hoot. I had so much fun. She's in Idaho, so it was quite a trek to get all the way there, but boy, am I glad that I made the effort to get there. So again, just saying, retreats are so wonderful, especially if you're looking to connect with other women. Just do something for yourself. I highly recommend them. So we can't forget the quilt donation drive, and last year was a really big year for it because if you remember, I was lucky enough to go to QuiltCon in Phoenix, and Moda Fabrics featured the quilt donation drive in their booth. What we did is we were making blocks as people walked past. We were making blocks with their Moda cake mix recipe cards, and then we were putting them up on a wall to make community quilts. So we had a very special guest join us. Rob Shear joined us, and it was so fabulous to meet him in person. It was my first time to meet him. And not only that, he made a block and put it up on our community wall. So that was a real blast. So in total, we made 1,025 quilts that we donated to Comfort Cases. Now, Comfort Cases is a nationwide charity that serves all 50 states. They make up cases full of items that will bring comfort to a child entering foster care, like a quilt or a blanket, brand new pajamas, a book, toothpaste, all their basic toiletry items, a softie, and a few other things. And the idea is that we're getting rid of those black sacks and we're bringing them comfort as they enter into foster care. And if you'd like to join us this year, I'll put a link down below for that. We would love to have you because trust me, these kids absolutely love these handmade quilts. So thank you to everyone who participated. We also have wonderful prizes that we give away every year just to thank you all for helping us bring comfort to these children entering foster care. Another thing that I did last year that was new to me was I visited the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show, and that was in Sisters, Oregon. And I went with my friend Carolina Moore, and we had a blast. It was so much fun there. It was so beautiful. It was so hot. Oh my gosh, it was so hot. Now, you might have seen I did do a live video of that, and that was a lot of fun. Actually, a lot of you joined me on that live video. And speaking of live videos, I did a few this year. I don't generally do a lot of live videos. I started doing a series called Tea with Stacey Lee, and I had special guests on. The first one was Karen of Just Get It Done Quilts, and it was absolutely fabulous to have her on. She talked all about all her quilty things as well as her challenge she does every year. She's holding it right now, and that's just to help you declutter and clear out and sort out your sewing room. So if that's something you'd like to check out, you could go and look that up. I'll put a link down below for you about that. And we also had Tracy of the Sewing Channel join us, and that was a lot of fun. Then I did my live, and what did we do? We did our Christmas ornament. I made a Christmas ornament, you know, the quilted ones with the foam ball. We did that live, and I think that I would like to do more lives this year. What do you think? I feel like my videos can come across as a little bit clinical, and I don't really put any personality in them, because I feel like if you want a tutorial and you're watching a tutorial, you just kind of want the person to get down to the nuts and bolts of it and just tell you exactly what to do step by step. You don't necessarily want to hear all fluffy stories about what they had for breakfast and what they're doing later that night. You just want to know exactly how to make the project. So I will admit my tutorials are a little bit clinical, and I think that maybe if I started doing some more lives, it would be a chance for us to sort of more chat more, you get to know me more, and just to be more casual and not so structured. Let me know in the comments if you think you would enjoy more lives. And I thought I could just even be as casual as sewing, not having a theme or anything, just maybe once a month we just get together and we chat, and I just talk about whatever. You can ask me questions during a live. So that's one thing I've been thinking about. Speaking of sort of more casual and behind the scenes, I have started a brand new Patreon account. And one of the goals over there is to sort of give more inside of what I'm doing, showing you more of my process, sort of more of a behind the scenes sneak peek at what I'm doing. So if you'd be interested in that, of course I'll put the link down below for you. It's actually just opening up today, so I'm really excited to announce that. And I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Let me just check on my list here. We talked about QuiltCon, Quilt Donation Drive. Oh, here we go. Houston Quilt Market. So I went to Houston Quilt Market, and I'm sad to say it was actually the last one, But something that I did there was I did talk about YouTube, and I taught all about what YouTube is, secrets to get your YouTube channel growing and to get subscribers and etc. So I did 2 classes. Now this, I was teaching shop owners, brands, other influencers, what have you. And can I tell you, I was absolutely terrified. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to apply and I'm just going to not worry about it. I'll see what happens. They probably won't say yes, so I'm going to get all nervous and anxious, and they've not even said yes, so let's just apply and see what happens. Well, what do you know, they accepted both of my proposals, so I had to teach the 2 classes. I was terrified, but I'm really proud of myself for doing it and getting over that fear of speaking publicly. And I'm just really glad that I did that, because that was something for me just really outside of my comfort zone, which I think is important to do every now and then. And trust me, when I started my YouTube channel, this was really out of my comfort zone. So it is really fun and important to do a few things outside of your comfort zone. So if you are thinking of starting your own YouTube channel, I say just do it. And finally, not something from last year, but something from this year, I want to introduce you to my brand new friend, Susie, my singer featherweight. Oh my gosh, I've been looking one for so long and I finally found one. I'm just thrilled to bits. I think I might actually record my block of the month on it. And I think I might do a video all about her, how I found her, why I got obsessed with featherweights. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to know about that. Anyway, I've given you lots of things to let me know in the comments, but please do leave comments, because to me it lets me know you're actually watching the videos, engaging, and that you're there and watching. It really helps me. It helps me just stay inspired and encouraged to keep going. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling now. I just wanted to do a quick recap, tell you what happened last year, talk a little bit about this year, and basically I just want to thank you for being here. I hope that this year I can be a little bit more relaxed with you, show you a little bit more behind the scenes. And I think we'll do that in the live videos and of course over on my Patreon. I just want to thank you all so much for being here. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video.